welcome to Prudent Media. My name is Sachin Chatte and on this program we take a look at the latest releases. Today we will take a look at the spy thriller called Amateur and the new Sunny Deol movie called Jaat. First, let's take a look at Jaat. Jaat marks the directorial debut of Gopichand Malineni, who has primarily worked in Telugu cinema, and in this movie he has blended the characteristics of a North Indian hero with southern elements. In this action film, Sunny Deol portrays an angry old man capable of single-handedly confronting and defeating an army of villains. It has been nearly 25 years since he famously uprooted a hand pump to vanquish his foes. This time, he utilizes a ceiling fan, a wooden column, and other unconventional objects as weapons. At one point, he proclaims, "ये 2.5 किलो के हाथ की आवाज नॉर्थ सुन चुका है, अब साउथ सुनेगा," which means the southern part of India will now hear the sound of these 2.5 kilo hands. This film is a quintessential action movie that could be classified as a masala film. However, the masala genre typically does not include scenes of decapitation. In some instances, heads are tossed into someone's hands, while in others, headless bodies are seen moving about, raising questions about the medical plausibility of such scenarios where men walk akin to headless chicken. Many acclaimed action films such as Pulp Fiction feature blood and gore, but often with stylized action choreography. In contrast, this film relies heavily on sickles and swords to sever body parts to the extent that the censor board had to pixelate several graphic scenes. The catalyst for the conflict in this movie is a plate of idlis, which I shall address shortly. The film begins in Sri Lanka during the Civil War, where a group of men unearthed buried gold and escaped to India by boat. Years later, the leader of the group, Ranatunga, played by Randeep Hooda, has become a local gang leader in a village in Andhra Pradesh, instilling fear in the villagers who dare not oppose him. Upon discovering evidence of his crimes, a group of female police officers led by Vijay Lakshmi, played by Saya Kher, attempts to apprehend him only to find themselves captured instead. At the same time, a train from Andhra Pradesh is en route to Ayodhya carrying devotees of Lord Ram. Among the passengers is a protagonist who, unlike the others dressed in saffron, stands out as a man without a name in the Indian Wild Wild West. He identifies himself as a Kisan and Jaat, and we eventually discover that he is Brigadier Baldev Pratap Singh, played by Sunny Deol of course, and he is known as the bulldozer of the Indian Army. The last time I encountered a brigadier exuding such confidence was Rajkumar's portrayal of Brigadier Survadev Singh in Tiranga back in 1993. However, before delving into the military and bulldozer aspects of the character, we must first address the significant moment involving the idli. While enjoying a plate of idlis, some thugs accidentally knock it from his hands. Although visibly upset, all he desires is an apology. When they refuse to apologize, they face severe consequences. Our formidable hero even stops a large vehicle with his bare hands. He then embarks on a mission to confront their leader, driven by the need for an apology. In one scene, he dismantles a ceiling fan and confronts Somululu, played by Vineet Kumar Singh, the much feared brother of Ranatunga. Ultimately, he arrives at the home of Ranatunga and his cunning wife, played by Regina Cassandra, only to uncover a web of suspicious activities taking within the place. While the female officers are depicted as courageous, boldly venturing where no man has gone before, they still require a man to step in as their savior and extricate them. The latter portion of the film goes downhill as the brigadier's military background is revealed through flashbacks and other cliched scenes. Jagpati Babu portrays a CBI officer who has been personally assigned by the President of India to assist a young girl who has reached out for help through a letter. The narrative seeks to highlight the issue of land acquisition from villagers by corporations, with the scheme being orchestrated in Davos, Switzerland of all places. And all this happens in collusion with local politicians and the mafia. However, the execution feels overly dramatic. Nonetheless, it must be acknowledged that Sunny Deol effectively carries the film, primarily through his action sequences against the antagonist. But there is only so much of 2.5 kilo ka haath and severed heads that one can take in a movie. I'm going to go with 2 out of 5 stars for the new Sunny Deol movie called Jaat. Amateur, directed by James Hawes, is a contemporary adaptation of the novel of the same name, which was previously made into a film featuring John Savage and Christopher Plummer back in the 60s. This spy thriller, while not groundbreaking, delivers sufficient thrills. It could easily be likened to a Jason Bourne or a Jack Reacher film, but instead we follow Charlie, the titular amateur. Unlike James Bond, who possesses a license to kill, Charlie holds a license as a cryptographer for the CIA. With an IQ exceeding 170, he adeptly gathers and synthesizes information from diverse sources, quickly proving his exceptional skills. It is also evident at the beginning that he is deeply in love with his wife Sarah, played by Rachel Brosnahan, and their affection is reciprocal. However, when Sarah embarks on a business trip to London, she never returns, having been taken hostage and subsequently killed. Driven by a desire for vengeance and a quest for truth, Charlie becomes frustrated with the inaction of his superiors at the agency. Taking matters into his own hands, he seeks to track down those responsible for his wife's death. Armed with information from an anonymous source, he coerces his bosses into facilitating his CIA training to toughen him up. Lawrence Fishburne portrays his trainer, offering Charlie essential advice on navigating the treacherous world of espionage. His journey takes him from Paris to Spain, then to Turkey, then to Romania, all while the CIA also attempts to apprehend him. Although the action lacks the intensity of Ethan Hunt's escapades in the Mission Impossible films, it remains adequate for the narrative. The plot incorporates technology, blending elements that, while occasionally implausible, resonate with the reality of an increasingly digital world. The focus is primarily on Charlie, who is not your typical born-to-kill kind of a guy. Why? He can't even pull a trigger when the time comes. But vengeance is a strong emotion. He can't kill, but he also wants to see them dead. The subplots include rogue CIA agents is on predictable lines. It helps that Rami Malek doesn't look like a tough guy, and that gives his character some credibility. Amateur then is a decent outing for a lazy Sunday afternoon, and I'm going to go with 3 out of 5 stars for this spy thriller. Well, that's what I thought of the 2 releases this week. Do let us know what you think, and I'll be back with you next week with more movie reviews. Till then, it's goodbye from me.